Okay, it sounds like we've got our guy Baldy here. Let's see. What's up, Baldy?
What's happening, fellas? How you doing?
Oh, not bad. So today on the podcast, we are ranking all of the position groups in the AFC West. We're starting with the offense. So we went through quarterbacks, the running backs. We just finished the offensive line, though. And we gave the Chiefs the edge over the Broncos and then went Chargers, Raiders. How do you feel about that?
Well, the Chiefs are definitely first.
Okay.
I mean, Creed, Humphrey, Trey Smith, they don't even miss a snap. Those guys have been unreal. Yeah, I would go Chiefs. I'd put the Raiders last. And then I kind of want to see who's playing center for both you and for the Chargers. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you guys know. I don't. But I kind of want to see who's playing center because that kind of where it starts. And the best center by far, by a country mile in the whole division, is Creed Humphrey. So I'd probably still put you second. But I think that the Chargers. We'll see who plays center, but right now I'd probably put you second. Chargers and then Raiders.
Yeah, we were specifically talking about the O-line as a whole, but then we were breaking down kind of that right tackle position. So we talked about Joe Alt, talked about Mike McGlinchey. And for years, Mike McGlinchey was a really solid piece to the 49ers puzzle. And then last year, it felt like he kind of took a step back. We talked about how some of those sacks we felt like maybe were Russell Wilson's fault. Him evading, to Mike McGlinchey's side when he was holding down the fort. Do you think Mike will have a much better year with a more pocket quarterback in Bo Nix?
It's possible. I mean, I think that Mike really benefited playing in San Francisco in the offense and just the wide zone scheme. I think he really benefited. He struggled at times against elite rushers in San Francisco as well. He gets tangled up sometimes. He's pretty tall. He's about 6'7". He gets tangled up sometimes, and he just doesn't have enough core strength to just anchor. I don't know if he would fight me on that right now, but that's kind of how I look at it. But I think that anybody that gets a second year next to, like, say, Quinn, and you get a second year of playing with your guard and how you handle stunts and how you handle slide protections and all these different things that you work on individual drills every day. I always believe that the second year is going to be better than the first year. And then, you get through the off season, you kind of review some things that gave you guys trouble the year before. And so, it could be something that's just as simple as handling Chris Jones in Kansas City and just making sure he just doesn't, wreck your day or wreck this play or this third down, whatever. And just the communication it takes to be able to handle a guy like that because he moves up and down the line. So I would say, I would guess that Mike will be better this year than he was last year.
Interesting. The other question that we had was because we were comparing him to Joe Alt. We're trying to figure out Broncos or Chargers. Week 1, who would you rather have? Because obviously Joe Alt's an exciting prospect, and by the end of the year, he might be one of the better tackles. But as of week 1, do you go with McGlinchey or the rookie?
Well, I saw both Nick and Joey Bosa last week working out, and I asked Joey about Alt because I knew his dad real good. My brother played with him in Kansas City, and he said, he's been giving him the arsenal, and he's kind of winning because he's very tall. He's over 6'8", very unusual for offensive tackles. Outside of Jonathan Ogden, it's very unusual for guys that tall to be really, really good. But he's a very good athlete. I think he's a better athlete than Mike is. I would guess that the Chargers are going to lean a lot more on the run game than the Broncos will. And so it might favor Joe just from the standpoint of scheme and play calling right now. Might benefit him a little bit more.
Baldy, another position that we were talking about was the quarterback position, and specifically Bo Nix kind of being at the bottom of the AFC West right now. And, over time, we want him to make a jump up. And we talked about in 5 years, could he jump past Justin Herbert or would he still be behind Justin Herbert? In your opinion, if you're the third best quarterback in your division, is there a way for you to have success in this league, or do you constantly just lose to the top 2 guys?
No, look, sometimes divisions get stacked. Let's see. Brock Purdy right now is I mean, Matt Stafford. It's pretty good. It's pretty good right there in the NFC West. I don't know where you put Kyler at this point. I think he got better as the season went on. We know it gives some people trouble, but I wouldn't put him above Brock or Matt right now. But you can have success. I mean, I think it's going to be hard for Bo. I'm sorry. It's going to be hard for Bo to outdo Justin Herbert just from a talent standpoint. I mean, you're 6'6" and you can run and you have that kind of size and that arm. You watch Justin Herbert throw. I mean, watch that guy throw a football. There's not many people that play in this league that can throw a football like that. Now, he hasn't had great success, obviously, and that's how he has to get defined eventually. But just from a pure talent standpoint right now, man, it's hard to find many guys. I know there's Mahomes and whatever, but it'd be hard to surpass Herbert at this point. Just from a physical standpoint, I think Bo would have a hard time competing with that. Doesn't mean he can't win more games. Drew Brees wasn't the most talented guy. He didn't have the strongest arm. He was the most accurate arm, and he was probably the smartest arm that played for a long, long time. So there's different ways to win. Montana didn't have a strong arm, but he was 4 for 4 in the Super Bowl. So you can still win, not having the same gifts as Justin Herbert.
I'm curious to see what Justin Herbert looks like with all the changes in the offense. Because it's obviously they want to run the ball more. They're investing in the trenches, but they also get rid of Keenan Allen, get rid of Mike Williams, get rid of Austin Eckler. And now you look at the options to throw the ball to. You got Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston, Lad McConkey, DJ Chark, Brendan Rice. Like there's some exciting young players there, but there's almost nobody on this team except maybe like Hayden Hurst, who has real experience being a high volume playmaker.
Yeah, but you have to. I mean, this Harbaugh factor is real. If you go back to 2011 when he went to San Francisco, I mean, they drafted Kendall Hunter. They had Frank Gore. I think it was in his second year. He had his best season ever that first year in San Francisco. I mean, I think he ran for 1,700 yards. I mean, they hit the ground running, and I mean running big. Nobody knew who Kendall Hunter was. He came out of Oklahoma State, 3rd-round pick, but he was the rotation back with Frank Gore. They had one legitimate, Crabtree was the one legitimate receiver that they had. They ran the ball way more than they threw it with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. But you just can't underestimate how he builds his roster. It's going to look different. I know we're comparing the Chargers and all this, the change. I get all that. It's just going to look so different than anything we've seen with the Chargers since they've been in this division.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Chargers may be the one team that I'm most nervous about. I know we've seen what he did in San Fran, and then you talking about what he did in Michigan, and now he goes from having J.J. McCarthy at quarterback to having a really, really talented young quarterback. So it feels like that may be a hurdle that the Broncos have to overcome. Are the Broncos currently the 4th best team in the AFC West as you see it?
Well, I mean, I mean, there's Kansas City and everybody else. I mean, you can throw them all up. Raiders, Broncos, Chargers right now. Coaching matters. I mean, I think coaching matters more at the NFL than any other sport out there. And so you guys got a great coach, and that makes a difference. And he's in his second year, so he's kind of figured some things out. Obviously, moved on from a big quarterback, and that was a big move. But I mean, the Raiders, I don't know, like quarterback wise, are they a threat to anybody with what they have right now? I don't believe so. I don't believe it's a dynamic offense right now. I think defensively they made a lot of improvement. They kept the whole staff. They added some key pieces right now. Even picking up Jack Jones during the season last year is a good player, instinctive player. They kept this inside linebacking core the same for the first time in, I don't know, a decade. And then they add Christian Wilkins and Tyree Wilson gets a whole year. I mean, I think they're going to be a really good defense. Offensively, though, I don't know who they would scare at this point. I just don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree. And we're about to hit the tight ends next in 5 or 10 minutes or so. The Raiders are interesting there because obviously they invested in Michael Mayer last year, who I really liked. And this year, used their 1st-round pick on Brock Bowers, who I like even more. That's a strange way to build a team. And I don't think we've asked you about this, even though that was a couple months ago. What did you think of adding another tight end there?
I didn't understand it. Honestly, there had so many needs, whether it was quarterback or, another piece on defense or a right tackle. They looked like they were awfully short at right tackle, and they could have easily taken a right tackle right there. There's one sitting right there waiting for them to take, and I thought, if you said tight end tackle, the Jets, I was at the Jets facility the day of the draft, and the Jets traded back at, one spot, and they had that choice: receiver, tight end, tackle. They took the tackle. I thought that's what the Raiders should have done. I thought whether it's Fuanga, whoever, Fautano, I think was there, but I would have taken a right tackle. That's what they needed. They needed that more than they needed a tight end. Now, Brock Bowers, tested off the chart and had a phenomenal, run at Georgia, but we've seen tight ends have great college careers, and it doesn't always transfer to the NFL. Right tackles, you need right tackles. You need great right tackles, and they could have taken one.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll keep talking about tight ends. I know the Broncos have a few. Is there anybody that kind of sticks out as the front runner? If Dulcich is healthy, is he the guy? If he's unhealthy, who do you feel like will really step in and be that, that dynamic tight end that Sean Payton is used to having? Do we have one?
I don't know. Is there any basketball players out there that are like 6'7" aren't can plug and play?
No, I don't think so.
Jimmy Graham's available.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He had a lot of success with Jimmy. I don't know. Like, Dulcich is a good route runner, and he's very smooth. He's very smooth in his routes, catching the ball. Like, I think he'd probably be the favorite right now. Troutman probably is a better blocker at this point. He's had some success as well. So I know they had a lot of depth at tight end last year. We didn't really see anybody just jump out and just claim the position, like I think you want to. So I think that, I think about that position should be fighting for playing time right now and trying to find that guy that can just be out there in 11 personnel every down.
Awesome. Appreciate it. I think that's all the time that we've got here, but we appreciate the insights as always, and we'll see you next week, Baldy.
Let's do it, guys. Let's start ratcheting it up here. Getting ready. We're a month away. I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy to think about.
Okay.
Best
Take
time
care,
of the
man.
year.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
Yep, thank you.
A lot of good insights as always.